On today's episode of Drive Hard, I'm going to take you to Nevada. We're going to check out some state parks and a national conservation area, and we're going to take a high-speed journey through the desert. All on this episode of Drive Hard around Vegas. This is the gear that I use, specifically what I'm using to film all of the road footage. This is it. It's not much, but it is very effective. I'm using a Hero GoPro 9, and with that usually comes a thumb screw. So I've got a tether, a steel tether attached with a locking carabiner. And those tethers usually come in different sizes, lengths. And you've got a tripod adapter. And with that, we've got a tripod nut adapter, male on both sides, and this suction cup made by 𝗀𝗶𝗽. And that was recommended on YouTube by someone who tested it at 70 miles an hour, and it worked out really well. And this remote control. That's pretty much it. And it's super easy to put together. It's really lightweight, easy to travel with. Just take that nut adapter for the tripod and screw that into the suction cup. And then I'm going to take the GoPro and mount that to its tripod adapter. After I tighten this nut down, I usually have a Leatherman with me, and with the vibrations of the car, you definitely want to give that some extra tighten. Take the GoPro 9 and attach it to that tripod mount. This thumb screw with the tether, or the leash. Screw that right in there, and you're pretty solid. Those loop ends are also crimped. I mean, it's a really nice system. Got your locking carabiner, and then you're just going to attach that to the suction cup. And again, give it an extra little oomph to tighten it all down, because the vibration on the road can loosen that rig up real quick. That's it. Your remote control to control it all. And that suction cup, that's super easy to use. You can see it's concave when it's activated. When it's not activated, it's fairly flat. Stick it on a real smooth surface, give it a twist, and that sucker ain't going anywhere. And that's it. That's the rig I use when I'm traveling and want to record road stuff. Ta-da! So now let's take a look at some different ways to mount. This is on the windshield with a tether going through the door, just closing the door on the tether. This is a shot of that tether being closed in by the door. And of course the carabiner kind of acts as an emergency stop. Here we have it through the door and tethered to the sun visor. And you can also attach it to your rolling glass. Like this, you can roll the camera up and down and access it easily from the driver's seat. Here it is tethered to the sun visor. You could just let the tether hang when you close the window. Here's how I power it without the battery inside. I just attach it to a battery bank, and then I can record for a long extended period of time. And this is the door that I use that allows you to run your power cord directly to the GoPro and film while powering. Here's the camera mounted to the rear view, or the rear window, and of course you can just close it in on the door. It just so happens that on the inside of my door I have some loop tie-down points, so I can tether that way. Here's an exterior shot, tethering to the slide door handle and mounting the camera to the glass of the slide door. And here's how that can look when the doors are closed, so you get a better idea. There's all kinds of ways you can mount these things. And you don't have to mount it just to glass. You can mount it to the body of the van. Here's the camera on the inside. I have various mounting points around the van. This is so I can record out the windshield. And then I can turn that around on myself because it's on a swivel, so I can record myself if I want to make any kind of commentary while I'm driving. Other mounting points. This is above my head near my sun visor. Of course, you see the camera's upside down, but that is easily turned right in production. And this is out the window of the back of the van. And that's the gear that I use. So the reason why I'm going to Vegas is pre-COVID, I had a trip booked. And the reason why I had a trip booked is because I was playing at some of the casinos just north of me, and I won a couple jackpots, and that in turn got me some comped rooms out in Vegas. So that was the plan. But because of COVID and my spine surgery, the trip was pushed out twice, and it was finally set for September of 2021, and I had to take the trip, or I would get penalized for canceling the trip and be charged the normal room rate, which was way too much money. Or I could rebook it, but it would include hefty resort fees, and I didn't want to spend any more money than the flight on this trip and renting a car. So anyhow, rescheduled the trip. It turned out to be in mid-September, and off I went to Vegas. Now with this, I've got my new little toy. Where is it? My little suction cup. And what I was going to do was have my rig all pre-set up to stick to the glass of my airplane window. And I wasn't sure if this was going to be allowed. I didn't know if the flight crew would say, no. But I figured the best way to do it would be to be prepared and act like I know what the hell I'm doing and not have to mess with it too much. So I did just that. I thought about the window, how it would be angled for the camera to capture it, and with the remote control, I wouldn't have to mess with it, and I took the battery out of it. And I had instead one of my battery banks plugged into it so I could take unlimited time and photograph and record video of whatever I wanted to from the sky. And what's kind of cool about that for me is this is one of the first times that I've flown west during the day and haven't experienced heavy cloud cover. Usually I go at night, and the few times I have gone during the day, the clouds have been just too much and I never get to see anything of the ground. Well, this time it was a completely different story. Once I got pretty much west of Kansas, Nebraska area, the clouds just passed, and suddenly my view turned into a giant relief map, which for me was just fun. So my journey begins right outside of my door. I got to get in my car and drive at, what time did I leave? 4:30 in the morning, and drive an hour up to Cleveland to catch a shuttle from the parking lot to Hopkins International Airport. Once I got there, then it was a short flight to Chicago, about an hour and 15 minutes. And then it was a 4.5-hour flight to Vegas, I believe, from Chicago right to Vegas. And here we go. So generally in the past, when I've gone to Vegas and rented a car, I would take that car out to Death Valley, the Hoover Dam, drive into Arizona, maybe check out a nearby ghost town. But really, it was that same menu every time I went. So this time I wanted to change it up, especially because I knew I was going to be taking new footage with this suction cup rig. And I was really excited about getting better visuals recorded. So one thing I haven't done is gone north on 15 into Utah. So I busted out the map and took a look around, and I found Valley of Fire State Park. Now I've been in that area of Utah on 15, but it was a long, long time ago, and I was headed south, and it was at night, so I hadn't seen any of the surrounding views. So I was really excited for this drive and a chance to explore a new park. And it was a pretty short drive from Vegas, and it was really easy because you're really taking 15 straight north and then exiting at 75. Yes. Once you exit the highway, you're going to see a truck stop right there. And the road that truck stop is on is the road you take out to the park. So it's really, really easy to navigate. And you're basically doing like an arc of a road from 15 back to 15. Super, super easy. And what a gorgeous drive it was. To give you a sense of what this area looks like, here's a map overview, regular map. Then we have a terrain map, and obviously you can start seeing how rugged the area is. And then with the satellite image, you can really tell that these rock formations are going to be colorful and neat and cool to look at. Day 2 in Las Vegas was time to head out to the Red Rock Canyon Conservation Area and check out the geology there. A great park to visit. I would love to go back to all these parks in the wintertime when it's not 100 and some degrees and do some hiking out there. I mean, it's just spectacular. So as you see on the map, it's not that far from Las Vegas. It's a quick drive and it's worth it. If you're ever in that area, I highly recommend checking out the Red Rock Canyon Conservation Area. Here we go. Now, here's the moment I've been waiting for. I don't know about y'all, but for me, it was time to test my gear out. So, once again, with this suction cup rig and my GoPro Hero 9 with a tether system, I headed out to the vast desert, to the long stretch of highway where I could open up my rental car at 80 miles per hour and check the integrity of this damn thing that I paid $15 for. And it was worth it. So the situation is, it's hot, it's 100 degrees. I'm in a rental car. I've got a moon roof. So I'm going to stick the GoPro with the suction cup to the moon roof and best guess the angle of it, thinking that I'm going to capture as much scenery as I can. And because it's hot, I'm in a little bit of a rush. I don't want my GoPro to overheat. I'm concerned about the suction cup and the hot windshield. Or not windshield, but moonroof. And of course, I don't know how wind resistant this is going to be at 80 miles per hour. Is the camera going to shake back and forth from the wind hitting it? I don't know. But off we go. And sure enough, once I hit 80 miles per hour, I look up through the moonroof and my camera's solid. It's hanging on like a badass. So this is just a great thing to know, and from here on out, all of my footage will be recorded from the exterior of my car. Or van. Whichever I'm in. Probably the van. Next is downtown Vegas, baby. And there's really not much to say about it other than enjoy the colorful lights and the time lapse and the music. I think I hit the groove just right. I do love going to Vegas, but I think it's going to be a while before I head back there. There could be a winter stretch where I just get sick of the cold and have to get out of town and head out there and check out those parks. But now that this trip is over with, because it was pushed out so many times, I was pretty much over it before I ever even got there. But yeah, now that this is out of the way, I am going to be heading to other places. And one of those places is New York. The next episode, I will be mainly in booth because I didn't get any video footage really at all. Well, none. Of my trip to New York to hand off a tribal medicine mask to the Iroquois Tribal Council. So see you in the next episode, and thanks for tuning in.
Okay, cheers.